Lately, the CRF has been getting a lot of luggage, particularly from Kemimoto, and we're actually going to add to that today with a front fender bag from Kemimoto. So yeah, the CRF is kind of turning into the Kemimoto luggage special. I actually switched the handlebar bags here from the Giant Loop originally to the Kemimoto. I think the Giant Loop, since it's a little bit tinier, works a little bit better on the Grom. So this is getting fully kitted out. And again, like I mentioned, we're doing a front fender bag from Kemimoto to add to this luggage when I do take this thing out dual sporting. First, of course, is the unboxing. Unboxed, but for real. Here we go, in all its glory. Let's take this to the bench and actually see what it looks like and what we get inside the bag and compare it to my old one that I have from Tusk. So here's a look at the bag in a little bit more detail, and obviously we will open this up and see what's inside, but we'll also compare it to the old one that I had previously. This thing is ancient. But before we look at this, let's open this thing up. Right off the bat, this is not going to store that much because it's a very low profile. As you can tell, basically it just sticks to the top of the front fender, and whatever you can fit in there, that's what you can. Typically people will fit things like front tires, spare tubes, things like that, little things that are flat. But let's open it up here, and you can see it opens up to two very large compartments. First one here is just one giant mesh bag to carry around little things, I guess, to make sure that they don't fly around. Then on this side, you have a couple of elastic straps. So this is probably where they intend for you to put a spare tube. Then in here, it also looks like we got, I'm assuming this is a tool roll. Yeah, so it's got a nice little tool roll with elastic on both sides, so you can hold your open-ended wrenches, your tire spoons, things like that. I don't think you would be able to pack too much in this because it just has to fold, tri-fold like this, and it's gonna wanna stay as thin as possible. So even though I mentioned that this is very thin, very low profile, so it's not actually gonna have that much storage capacity, as you can see compared to my old one, my really ancient one from Tusk, it's actually a little bit bigger. So it does have a little bit more real estate to work with, and a little bit goes a long way with these things. So I'm really happy about that. I also like that this is the old one. The only opening is just this little top thing. So basically anything you want to put in here, you have to just bury and dig in there. It's really hard to see, and you just kind of throw stuff into this open void. Let's take a look at the underside here, and as you can see, very, very worn, and it connects to the fender with these four straps, these four hooks rather, on each side. And as you can see here, these are just bare metal and quite rusty at this point. And the underside of the Kemimoto, on the other hand, you can see it has similar straps. There's four of them, but these ones are much bigger, much more robust, and the best part about these, they're coated in rubber, so they're not going to be as abrasive on that fender plastic. You're not going to see any cuts, scratches, it digging into the plastic, anything like that. I also noticed that the straps themselves have rubber actually sewn into it, so it's really sticky. So it should be able to adhere to the fender really nicely, and it won't loosen over time, because that's another issue that these things can typically see, that they might slide off of the fender or fall off completely. So I think this will really help with that. I just realized after looking at this bag a little bit more, there's actually a whole nother bag right here at the very top. You just pull open this Velcro and it goes all the way in there, the entire length of the bag. So that might be good for like maps, or I don't know, just little things that you want to get to right away. So now that we're getting rid of the old one, we're going to install the new one. And the best part about this is that there are no tools required, which is great because I can't find any. So let's get into it. As you saw, there are four of these gigantic hooks here that go 1, 2, 3, 4 on the fender, and then it just kind of sits here up against the headlight. So we'll start with the back two here and loop that on, and we'll have to tighten this. So let's tighten this side first. Getting it tight enough on each side so it doesn't flop around. That way it'll stay on the fender, and then we can just pull both of these and just tighten it down like that. Well, for the CRF in the front, actually, it looks like the fender kind of pushes out right here a little bit. And feeling around right here, there's actually not much of a ridge right here for this hook to get onto, because you don't want it to be too shallow, otherwise it might not hold. So I'm actually thinking, and this would probably help too, to keep it up against the headlight as much as possible, is I'm going to actually strap it right here at this point, so it's actually going to tighten and actually push it back towards the headlight. All right, so I think I got those four straps nice and tight, but that's not it, because one of the other things with these fender bags is that they can slide off if they get loose or fall off just because of these four hooks. You know, it's not really fixed on this unless you actually want to cut into the plastic, which I don't want to do, but I don't have to because this one has a third strap right here. Now this is designed to unclip and go around the headlight and tighten down, so it actually has a secondary strap that pushes it back and keeps it from sliding off. And there you have it. It's actually pretty low profile up here, which is nice. The CRF headlight, I think, actually has a really nice design in mind with this strap because it actually kind of tucks in there pretty cleanly. But as you can see here, there's quite a lot of slack. There we have it. It's all cleaned up. For the side straps here, I actually did decide to cut those and trim them up just so they're not flopping around as much. But then this back strap, I did not trim this one yet because it's a little hard to get back there with such a short line, and I want to have enough slack that I can loosen it and have it all the way to the side so then I can unbuckle it and take it off much more easily. And so for the time being, I just kind of stuffed the excess into this top pouch right here. I don't think that's going to fly out. So to test this bag, obviously we need to ride it, but I'm thinking something a little bit different, something that maybe requires knobby tires, somewhere I've never gone before, something new, some new experiences, maybe even something more like new chapters. So I'm going to go do that.